Greetings, heathens and naredowells. I'm Don, the philosophical Satanist, and I'm here with what may very well be one of the most important videos you take the time out of your life to watch regarding the subject of spirits, demons, summoning, and works that go back as far as the 15th century. So, let's get into it, shall we, without too much preamble. Now, this stance, this information that I am about to lay on you probably won't be popular, but I think in a long view, they're going to sit there and they're going to say, Don was right. So, first I'm going to give you two very important concepts, and these are concepts that I have laid out in my videos many times. I love it when the crows are going off in the background of my videos. It means that, the wisest and most spiritual of creatures support what I'm saying. So, I'm going to give you two important concepts. The first is that you are a human. You are a human being on planet Earth. That means that you contain within yourself the inherent power of creation. What you think is. Right? That is really important to understand. That is one of the greatest powers you possess, and it's a power not many people will tell you that you have, but what you think is, for you at least. Right? Did you ever think how two people can look at the same thing and give a similar yet different description based upon their own values? How two people can watch an event and describe different things? It's because the entire universe is unfolding according to your own subjective lens. What you think is. If you believe in a loving, overlooking, wonderful, friendly God, then there is a wonderful, overlooking, friendly God. If you believe in a nasty, evil, spiteful, vengeful demon of a God, then there will be that. If you believe that a spirit is negative, it will be that. If you believe that a spirit is positive, it will be that, because the universe will mirror your expectations. So that's the first secret. The second secret was released to the world by John Ali, the greatest Satanist no one knows anything about. Look him up on YouTube. Start with John Ali, Beyond Good and Evil, and go from there. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Now, if you listen to your average demonologist, right? Not a demonolator, not someone who worships and reveres demons, but if you listen to your average demonologist, or you pick up your average demonological text, be it the Grand Grimoire, Key of Solomon, Honorius, Agrippa, take your pick, right? I could rattle off a whole pile of names. I'm not going to, right? Demons are dark, evil things that you need to be controlling, that you need to be wrangling, that you need to compel and demand and trap and torture, if need be, to get them to do what you want. But where did these ideas originate from? What is the progenitor of this approach to dealing with demons and that aspect of the supernatural? The answer is the church. The answer is the religion of the cross. The Abrahamic faiths. They're the ones who pegged these beings as evil. And most of them are just bastardized representations of local gods of the areas that they took over. They integrated the aspects that they could into their own demon god, and they demonized the aspects that they couldn't. Now, that's an important thing to get your head around, that the oldest works, the backbone, the core of demonology, dealing with demons and demonological worship, demonological study, might be wrong. It might be wrong in its approach. From a modern perspective, these books are fairly brutal. I mean, you know, when they say things must be scribed down on virgin parchment, you do realize what virgin parchment is. No. They're not talking about clean white paper. No. Virgin parchment is the skin of a lamb that you have killed yourself by slashing its throat and ensuring that the blood does not hit the ground, that you have skinned yourself, that you have, over the course of at least a month, subjected to a number of different, and I don't know, I've never done it, so I don't know if it would actually work, but their curative processes are highly questionable. Right? You know, the Key of Solomon, or Honorius, or any number of them. You sacrifice a black cock, which is, no, you don't cut off a BBC. You actually, a black male chicken, a rooster, a black rooster. Right? And the blood of this black cock is used in all manner of things, as are feathers and other things, right? These white light workings, you're slaughtering animals. Now, look, if you believe in animal sacrifice, that's cool. That's cool. I'm not going to rip on your beliefs, but my own personal beliefs as a Satanist, I mean, Anton LaVey devoted an entire chapter to don't hurt animals unless it's for food or self-defense. Personally, I don't engage in such practices. I don't mind if you do, but I don't. And I don't advocate them. Right? So, right from the start, things aren't what they might appear to be. Do you see what I'm saying here? Right, now, so whenever you see in the future virgin parchment, know that they're talking about the skin of a lamb that you slaughtered yourself. Right? Because there's no other way to go about doing it. But the great thing is we live in the modern age, 2022, when substitution is perfectly acceptable. Myself, they say that sigils must be carved in gold or silver. Well, who has the money for gold or silver? I'd do my sigils on wood, and I'll tell you what, they work a treat. All right, I go out and buy a ream of reflex printer paper. There's my virgin white parchment. Never failed me. Right? Because what you think is, when you realize that these archaic methods, these archaic approaches are just the way they did it at the time, and you can get the same effects from your own practice, from your own belief, from your own energy, all of these things become unnecessary. Now, I'm going to quickly segue into when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And it will also tie in with what you believe is. Now, I started my main spirit work with dragons and dragon spirits, and I mentioned in another video I once got talking to a friend about it, and they were saying how dragons were incredibly negative entities, and I didn't say in that video, but I'll give a bit more background, a bit more into this, right? They were quite Judeo-Christian in their mindset and in their practice of magic, and because of the connotations of the devil and dragon, Michael being the one who slayed the dragon and cast it down to earth, they had an inherently negative opinion of dragons to begin with. So it doesn't surprise me when they went to deal with dragons, their fear, the crap they carried on their shoulders regarding the beings influenced their interactions. Myself, I'd always thought dragons were cool. Dancing with Dragons, great movie, great book. Dancing with Dragons, look it up, it's freaking awesome. Right? It was my first real encounter with dragons, and it made me very sympathetic towards them. And I worked with dragons for the better part of a decade, and they were never anything but useful and friendly and brought nothing but good things into my life. But my friend, when he contacted dragons, they wreaked absolute havoc. Now, was it dragons? Did we both contact the same entities, and our interactions were colored by our expectations? Did I contact something different than he did, and because he expected negative, he got negative? That's a theory I've been tossing around. I'm not sure. I'd really like to hear your ideas on this one. Please comment in the section if you know something more about this particular one, that if you expect a demon to be friendly and good, like Beelzebub, or Beelzebub, as I think of him in his original incarnation. My dealings with him have never been anything but positive. But there's a laundry list of literature out there about how he possesses you and drives you crazy and does, Linda Blair exorcist shit while he tears your life apart. Right? Now, do the people who come in contact with him expect him to be that way? And maybe because I expected him to not be that way, that's how he was. Faith and belief are powerful things. I mean, believers in the demon god Jehovah can manifest stigmata, spontaneous bleeding from the palms of their hands, when anyone with any knowledge of human biology knows the crucifixion, right? Because stigmata is bleeding through the wounds of Christ. Anyone with any knowledge of the process of crucifixion knows that they actually crucified you here so that the hinge of your wrist bone would hold you on, because if you crucified someone by the hands, you'd have to either tie them down, or literally the bolt would just, the weight of your body would make the bolt slide out from the gap here. So, at the end of the day, stigmatic wounds are actually bullshit. But their faith makes it happen. Their belief, what they believe, is. And does this centuries-long headfuck from the religion of the cross affect the way that we do things now? Right? That's something to really think about. So, I would say, don't take things for granted. Don't do it. Right? Be a little discerning. Be clever in your exploration. Adapt. Alter. We live in 2022. The old rules don't apply. That's just how they did it back then. Alter your calls. Alter your pentacles. Alter what you call spirits into. Treat with them in a different way. Change the way you look at things. And see if the things you look at don't change. So until next we speak, this is Don the Philosophical Satanist saying, hail thyself and have a beautiful day.